Alright, non-resident training course, September 1998. Navy Electricity Electronic Training Series Module 7, Introduction to Solid State Devices and Power Supplies, Navy Trial 14179. Distribution approved for public use, distribution unlimited. Chapter 3 Summary. Chapter 3 Summary. The chapter introduces a representative selection of solid state devices that have the special property of the basic operation principle devices discussed in the chapter. Summarized with the following paragraphs to give the review of the future reference. The Xeneer diode of the positive negative junction was designed to operate with the reverse bias and breakdown mode. This applied with the voltage of the breakdown point of the Xeneer diode for all practical purposes becomes a short circuit. The reverse bias and breakdown of the operation cause the Xeneer diode to conduct in the direction of the arrow as shown in the as shown. So the two theories used to explain the breakdown of the Xeneer diode. The Xeneer effect explained with the breakdown of the diodes below 5 volts. The high V doping of these diodes allows valency bonds of one material overlap with the energy of the conduction band on the other material. The situation all electronic tunnels are across the point positive negative junction at the point where the two energy bands overlap. The Xeneer diode operates at 5 volts. Explained with the avalanche effect in which free electrons diluting with the bonding electrons cause an ever-increasing number of the free carriers and a multiplying action. The Xeneer diode is used primarily for the voltage regulator electronic circuits. The tunnel diode is a heavily doped and positive negative junction exhibits negative resistance over the part of the range of the operation. You can see with the curve of the illustration, the heavy doping covers the tunnel of the diode to have the very near due to the depletion region also cause the valence bands of one of the semiconductor materials to overlap the energy level of the conduction band of the other semiconductor material, and any energy overlapped electrons can carry over the valency band of one material to the conduction band of the other material without acquiring additional energy. This action is called the tunneling. Tunneling diodes used to amplifiers, oscillators, heavy speed switching devices. Show the voltage millivolts so the diode through 1 points 1 through 5 progressions curve, and the dotted line is standard positive negative junction. Alright, the vector is the diode that exhibits the characteristics of the variable capacitor, depletion of the region of the positive and negative junction of the dielectrical capacitor, even the cause and expand with the contract by the voltage applied with the diode. The action increase with the decrease of the capacitancy. The scheme of the symbol of the vector is shown. The vectors are used in tuning circuit that can be used with the high frequency amplifiers. Your silicone controlled rectifier, 4-element solid state device with the combined character for both diodes and transistors. The symbol for the silicone controlled rectifier is shown below. The signal must be applied with a gate with a solenoid control rectifier to conduct the proper gate with is applied with a silicone control rectifier conducts or fires until the bias of the potential across the develop the drive low of the minimum required sustaining current flow. Remove the gate signal does not shut off the silicone control rectifier. In fact, the gate signal is often varied with a narrow voltage pulse of the trigger. Silicone control rectifier is ideal for the use of the similar situation with a small low power gate that is used to turn on large currents such as the found in rectifier switching circuits. Silicone control rectifier is used extensively in power supply and rectifiers. Show the anode gate lead, the cathode lead, gate lead, anode, and cathode. Optoelectronic device. The two basic for the light producers are the light used for the LED is most widely used the light producing device. For the LED is forward based in emitting the energy in the form of the light. With the LED is used in several configurations digital equipment reading display with the photodiode and the phototransistor and the photocell. All devices that light modify conjunction with the solar cell is used to produce voltage. The unijunction transistor, the three-terminal solid-state device, which only with the positive negative junction in the block diagram, and show the difference with the construction between the normal transistor and the unijunction transistor. There are between the bases 1 and 2, base 1 and base 2, with the unijunction transistor acts as a variable resistor. The emitter of the unijunction transistor acts on the wiper arm to sequentially arrive at the voltage between the bipolar called the voltage gradient. Unijunction transistor conducts the emitter with the most power of the voltage gradient with the emitter base at the contact point. There are many variations of the unijunction transistor which are used with switching circuits, oscillators, and wave shipping circuits. Show the two junctions, the positive type of the one junction, N type of the material. Alright, your field effect transistor combined with a high input impedance of the vacuum tube with the other advantage of the transistor, the elements of the field effect transistor of the gate source of the drain with comparable to base for the emitter collector and standard transistor joint function and reveal the joint field effect transistor junction field effect transistor is known as solid bar positive and negative semiconductor material of the gate is based on the opposite of the type of the material and is below. The field effect transistor is called the positive and negative channel depending upon the type of the material used with the bar between the source and the drain. Voltage is applied with the gate control with the width of the channel with the consequently the current flow for the short of the drain. The junction field effect transistor is normally operated with the reverse bias control of the channel by increasing and decreasing the depletion region. Show the gate drain source power channel. Negative type silicone bar, diffuse positive type of the material. Alright, the metal oxide semiconductor field effective transistor is the field effective transistor for the higher input pendency of the joint field effect transistor because of the gate over the metal oxide semiconductor field effective transistor is completely insulated with the rest of the device. Multi-oxide set field effect transistor operates either the depletion mode over the forward bias enhances mode can either be in the negative channel or positive channel. The included channel with the dual gate metal oxide semiconductor field effective transistor are variations of basic metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistors. And that is Chapter 3 summary.